one of the exciting things about making a record at the CCP studio was that they had all these cool keyboards, and so that was going to be a different creative palette for me. I wanted to bring in somebody that could really utilize that palette, look at it as a big playground, a big sandbox, so I knew Irv was the guy. They have this beautiful Moog One. All the bass on the record is key bass played by Irv, either on the Moog One or the OB6. And watching him work this machine was fascinating. So Irv, walk me through finding a sound for the song Dress.
The first thing that I would do is probably, scroll through the patches and find something, relatively close to a bass sound. And, you'll probably get something like this.
Okay.
It doesn't quite work if you're emulating a bass, right? Like, we're doing something that has like a bunch of different styles to it, so you can't just come with something that sounds something so robotic. So, the first thing I would do is start with oscillator 1. There are a bunch of knobs over here. They're all for the actual waves, the sine waves. So generally speaking, I would start something with like a square wave, which has a lot of punch, a lot of low end, and filter that. So it might start to sound a little something like that with the first oscillator.
Man, okay. So if I hear that, I think that's a great key bass sound. Let's cut a song. But Irv, being a sound genius, was like, no, there's more layers. So it's not just the first oscillator. You're layering sounds onto this.
Yeah. The first one I have dedicated for just the meat and potatoes, like the low end, what you would think a bass would sound like. Okay. The second oscillator I would have for a bit of diction, if you want to call it.
Clarity.
Something
Attack.
that you can understand, because if I just play oscillator 1 low, and you can't understand any of these notes.
Especially in the mix with
it's just, so you have to have something that's a little bit brighter so you can kind of understand. So then that would be oscillator 2. So I actually have it an octave up. So here's oscillator 2, here's oscillator 1. So together.
Now that sounds like a epic key bass sound. But he wasn't finished.
No, not finished. This marvelous machine has 3 oscillators that I can, many voices, 16 voices to be exact. But oscillator 3, I would actually do up another octave. So we're spanning 3 octaves here. And it would sound a little something like this. Let me turn it up.
So even when we were cutting this in the studio, I didn't realize that we had all that going. I just want to be clear. I didn't know that there were 3 octaves in the bass. So what's it sound like all together?
Start with oscillator 3. Oscillator 2. Oscillator 1.
Right, so now we have the heft that we want, but we also have the clarity that we need.
Absolutely.
Oh Lord, what you doing, girl? How you shaking my whole world?